What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Upper Tier podcast. This is Pro Wrestling Weekly, and this is NXT. All your latest NXT news, previews, and everything NXT. Obviously, we are just removed from NXT. It is Wednesday morning, and NXT was last night. Absolutely brilliant show last night, and a great way to look forward to the weekend being NXT Deadline. Let's get into it. NXT last night kicked off with the Women's Iron Survivor Summit. Fatal Influence ended up crashing this summit. It was just kind of all the competitors in the ring who are going to be in the Deadline match, which is Evolve Women's Champion Kendall Gray, Lola Vice, Sol Ruka, Jordan Grace and Kalani Jordan are the 5 women going to be competing in the Women's Deadline Iron Survivor match this Saturday. Overall, it was just kind of a segment of all the women going around explaining why they think they're going to win, all kind of taking little jabs at each other, which I thought was brilliant. Ended up being crashed by Fatal Influence and JC Jane stating that it's so much better that the title is finally back around her waist. Was I keen on JC Jane getting the title back at first? Not a bit. I loved her first reign, but did I think she needed a second reign? No. That being said, we're about a week or two removed from Gold Rush, and I'm not minding it, if I'm being honest. It kind of just feels like her reign never ended. It's kind of forgettable already that Tatum Paxley was champion, which is extremely sad to say. But overall a great wee segment, and the women getting into a brawl with the Iron Survivors coming out on top. Next up, we got Thea Hale defeating Ariana Grace, Miss NXT, should I say. Ariana Grace being the daughter of legend Santino Marella, as he likes to say. She's actually a brilliant talent and extremely underrated, if I'm being honest with you. Her work in TNA was phenomenal, and I think she should be given the spotlight more. Obviously, she's dating NXT superstar Stax Lorenzo, and he's also a brilliant talent. And they've been dating for a few months now, and they're finally starting to show that on NXT, which I think is brilliant. Looks like we're getting a feud between Ariana and Stax and Thea Hale and Joe Hendry, which I think will be a brilliant feud, to say the least. Obviously, Thea Hale coming out on top with the victory after Stax tried to get involved and Joe Hendry hitting him with a standing ovation on the apron. And as I said, Thea Hale with the Gamora lock to win. Next up, we got Josh Briggs walking out victorious after a match with Tavion Heights. These two men, and I know I'm saying that all wrestlers in NXT are brilliant talents, these two are absolutely brilliant talents, but I'm kind of finding it hard to stay interested in anything they're doing. I feel like Tavion Heights and Tyra May Steele in that feud with Chelsea Green and Ethan Page should have been kept up, because that's when fans were most interested. I feel like since Josh Briggs and Tavion have started this feud, the fans aren't really, getting into it. Me included, of course. I just don't know how I feel about it. Overall, it was a decent match. It did what it did. It's boosting the storyline, and that's all that matters. So let's kind of hope that, the storyline picks up from here. Next up, Izzy Dame finally showing her face after turning on Tatum Paxley and costing her the NXT Women's Championship at Gold Rush. This was sad, folks. I'm not gonna lie. I'm still very annoyed Tatum Paxley lost the title. I think she was done so dirty, and she should have had a much longer reign than she did. As I said in one of my previous videos, she's now known as the shortest reigning NXT Women's Champion in history, which I think is so sad for the phenomenal talent that she is. Izzy Dame came out with the culling behind her, got on the mic and just said, I try to be friends with Tatum and I try to give her advice and tell her what to do and what not to do, and she just wouldn't listen. So, a lot of controversy over all of this. I think Tatum Paxley should come out on top at the end of this feud. I think Izzy Dame's a phenomenal heel, first of all, as a face, she didn't do much. There just wasn't anything there for her because there is so much faces on the NXT brand. We don't really have too many heel women, and I feel like as of this week we finally have 2 new heels on the women's side of the NXT brand, and I will get into one of them later. But obviously Izzy Dame is an absolutely perfect heel. After this promo though, I feel like they really have to pull the trigger on this. I'm talking make this the NXT Women's Feud of the Year. I think, keep the whole storyline of, you cost me the NXT Women's Championship and now I have to make you feel the pain that I have felt. That's what Tatum Paxley said to Izzy Dame last night, and I agree with that 100%. I think this match at Deadline should be made a street fight, or at least some stipulation put towards it, As I said, I think they really have to pull the trigger on this one and make it NXT Women's Feud of the Year, So I'm praying they give it some sort of stipulation. And if they don't give it some stipulation, that's fine. Just make it a good match. Really pull the trigger on this one, And I wouldn't mind seeing Izzy Dame as a champion in the future. But I want to see Tatum get the title back, Tatum time, folks. Next up, we got Sol Ruca, Lola Vice, and Kendall Gray defeating Fatal Influence in a 6-woman tag team match. This was a brilliant match. I absolutely love every one of these women, and one of the standouts in this match, I think, was Kendall Gray. And again, phenomenal talent, an up-and-comer 100%. I don't think she should be on Evolve at all. I think she should be on NXT full-time, which as of the past few weeks, it seems that's the way they're going. But I think they really should put her on NXT and put her in the title picture. She's just that good. She is, and I'm going to call it here, she is far ahead of her time. Overall this match was brilliant. Sol Ruca hitting the NXT Women's Champion Jacy Jayne with a Soul Snatcher for the victory. We've seen some problems in Zarya and Sol Ruca the past few weeks, and it coming to blows last night with Zarya telling Sol Ruca, I'm not going to be in your corner tonight. And then after the match was won, Zarya hit Kendall Gray with a spear, but it looked like she was aiming for Sol Ruca. So we will find out the effects of this at Deadline this Saturday. Could this be the end of Zaruka? I hope not. I really hope not. Next up, we got Bronco Nima and Lucian Price, OTM, versus the new Chase U in Uriah Connors and Cale Dixon. I don't have too much of an opinion on this match. Overall, it was okay. It did what it needed to do. Am I interested in it? Not really. I think OTM are a brilliant tag team, and if, I'm a chef, I know all about ingredients. They have the ingredients. They're missing one little thing though. I don't know what that is. And, that's kind of sad to say I'm a chef and I don't know what the missing ingredient is. But if they find out what it is, I think they could be perfect contenders for the NXT Tag Team Championships. Now, folks, to the main event, we got Javon Evans and Leon Slater and Joe Hendry and Miles Bourne defeating Dark State in an 8-man tag team match for the advantage at Deadline. Overall, brilliant match. I say it time and time again. Leon Slater and Javon Evans, my two favourites in NXT at the moment, without the shadow of a doubt. Absolutely phenomenal talents. Beyond phenomenal. Easily the future of wrestling. You will see them everywhere. That is how sure I am. Overall, great match. Leon Slater was going to hit one of the members of Dark State with a Swanton 450 for the win. Obviously, Miles Bourne tagging Leon Slater, not making him the official man in the match. Leon then hit his 450 Swanton, and Miles was the legal competitor. He came into the ring, hit his finisher Bourne again for the win. Miles Bourne picking up the final win of the match and the advantage for the Iron Survivor match. Overall, really solid NXT this week. I say it time and time again, if you don't watch NXT, do. It is miles ahead of Raw and SmackDown at the moment, and has been for the past few months. Overall, folks, like, subscribe, comment and share. We pump out content nearly every day of the week for each and every one of you. There is something on the channel for everyone. We've got Pro Wrestling Weekly, we've got NXT, we got AEW Dynamite, we got ECW now. Guys, subscribe to the channel. We work very hard for each and every one of you. Folks, tune in to NXT Deadline this week, this Saturday, and that is your chef's kiss for the week.